Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Today we are doing a little experimentation, having a little bit of fun trying to do this all on my own, just for trying to see if it's possible. So, starting off, this is Google Gemini here, kind of running with it. Now, as you've probably been aware if you've been watching a lot of my videos or not or whatever, because I've been kind of mixing like BattleTech and Star Wars and Star Trek and everything else, doing D6 stats for all of those systems. um, I decided let's have some fun with this. So my initial prompt to Gemini was this: can you run a role-playing game as a storyteller in the West End Games style as an open universe? The setting is 100 ABY, and the Empire and the New Republic are at peace with each other. The Empire still makes the large star destroyers as space carriers with the Star Trek style, um, kind of picket line craft, and then we're going to have the New Republic still having the Mon Calamari cruisers, and then they're going to have like the Klingon starships, as well as like jump ships from BattleTech, for carrying kind of the drop ships and the like. So, with it thinking, and it kind of gives me a little bit of an answer here. I've already kind of gone through this, so um, this isn't actively doing it, but we will. I have some bad rolls in here, so you're going to see some of this, and we're going to get ready. So Gemini replying back saying, "I'm ready. This is a fascinating mashup universe. They will it is willing to act as a game master using the logic and mechanics of the classic West End Games D6 Star Wars system." All right. So, starting off, the Iron Legion. Now, the bad guys are going to be somewhat based, just given a little four cents, kind of based off of like the clans out of BattleTech coming in, as well as like the Star Trek's Dominion. So they're able to grow in vats new warriors in about 2 days. That was kind of the premises. So as it's coming up with this, you're going to see all this kind of playing through. I just want to give you a little premises of how this is all being set up with the AI. So, Star Wars The Iron Legion, it's about 100 ABY. The galaxy has changed. The Galactic Empire and the New Republic have forged a lasting peace. United by trade and shared technological renaissance, the Imperial Navy now fields or flies alongside sleek saucer hulled Federation class frigates, while the Republic Mon Calamari cruisers are escorted by cloaked Klingon class birds of prey and massive jump ships capable of carrying battalions of the new weapons of war battle mechs. But peace has bred complacency. From the depths of the unknown regions, a terrifying new enemy has emerged, calling themselves the Dominion. They are genetically engineered. Um, they are bred in tubes and matured in days, born only to conquer. Their pilots are superior, their reflexes unnatural, and their battle mechs are unlike anything in the galaxy has seen before. As border worlds burn, the fragile alliance between the Empire and Republic is tested. Heroes are needed to strap in the cockpit of the new walkers and hold the line. So, step one, it's asking me to create a character. Now, I did, and my character is actually taking a brash pilot, but I'm adding in mech piloting, mech gunnery, and mech repair. Uh, so that's what I kind of tell it. Let's see. So I have a solid build. You are essentially a specialized ace, dangerous in the cockpit and decent with a blaster pistol. When things go south, starting as local security is a great way to start the story, because I wanted my character to be part of the planetary uh, security force that could get rolled into a Republic military. Okay. Um, so it gives me a light security mech. I kind of gave it a little bit of preference. I did want one heavier blaster that was like a anti-vehicle blaster, as well as two light repeating blasters for taking care of people. So it gave me stats here. So my Sentinel light security mech was a Senior Biodyne Sentinel class security walker. It's a light scout patrol mech, 25 tons. It is at walker scale, 8 meters tall. Crew of one, full coverage. Maneuverability is 2D. Our movement is 100 kilometers an hour. Body strength is 3D. Weapons, I do have one heavy laser cannon. Fire control is 2D. Damage is 5D Walker scale. Also has two repeating blasters. This is chin mounted. Um, Fire control is 1D and damage is 6D. So, getting into episode 1, the Vanguard incident. The border world of Oberon, affiliated as an independent planetary security system, New Republic Allied. This is at 0800 hours. The morning sun of Oberon beats down on the canopy of your walker. You are on a routine patrol sector, Otek 9, and densely forested region near the Isis capital outskirts. It's quiet, too quiet. The local beast riders have been spooked lately, and New Republic intelligence has been muttering about activity in the unknown regions. But out here, it's usually just smugglers and fauna. Your comms crackle. It's Sergeant Keel, your patrol partner. He's piloting a refurbished ATST lumbering along at about 200 meters to your east. Patrol 2, this is lead. Sensors are picking up magnetic interference in the upper atmosphere. Looks like heavy ionization. You seeing this? As you look up to the blue sky. It starts to tear open. Three streaks of fire descend rapidly, not standard shuttles. They look like spherical drop pods, heavily armored and radiating heat. They are aiming for the clearing just ahead of your position. The pods slam into the earth 500 meters away, kicking up a massive cloud of dust and dirt. Your sensors are screaming a warning, target lock detected. From the dust, a silhouette rises. It is a hulking mechanical form, hunched and predatory. It looks okay. So the cat's out of the bag. It looks like a mad cat or a timber wolf, but twisted. Black Durasteel, glowing purple viewports, and no insignia. Keel shouts over his comms: "Contact front, unknown bogies. Their power and weapons." So with this, it gives me a couple options. Just trying to like any DM or whatever. Hey, what do you guys want to do? Here's a couple options for you. So we call Planetary HQ and report what we're seeing, sending out streaming video of our situation. Then we move under whatever cover we can get. These mechs look bigger than what we are and probably have more weapons. So the GM, roger that. Patrol 2, HQ replies, the voice of the dispatcher tense. We are receiving your telemetry. Signal is degrading. Heavy EMC spiking in your sector. Stand by for static. Reinforcing units are on alert status. You flick the toggle to my phone goes off. You flick the toggle to stream the feed and shove the throttle forward, but carefully you guide your 25-ton Sentinel into the dense tree line of the Oberon jungle. The massive ferns and ancient trees provide excellent visual cover. But moving an 8-meter tall war machine quietly is an art form. Through the foliage, you can watch the crash site. The dust settles. Your sensors analyze the enemy target, approximately a 75-ton heavy chassis of unknown hybrid, resembles like a timber wolf, legs and torsos, but the arms are weapon pods similar to that of the Mon Calamari crab walker. Energy signature is high. It's charging particle projection cannons. Keel in his ATST is less subtle. He is standing out in the open, waist deep in scrub brush, aiming his chin guns. The enemy mech swivels. It doesn't walk, it stalks with terrible fluidity. A harsh, guttural voice broadcasts on an open frequency, speaking a dialect in basic that sounds clipped and aggressive. Territory claim acknowledged. Resistance is inefficient. Submit. It raises a weapon towards Keel. All right, so I need to now roll for a stealth tactics. Um, I have a difficulty of 15. I get to roll 5 dice. And on this one, I got a 21. That's a success from the GM. Um, you feather the petals, causing your sentinel to slide almost weightlessly beyond uh, a cluster of ancient ironwood trees. Your heat signature is masked by the jungle density. The enemy mech's massive head traverses right past your position, ignoring you completely. It is focused entirely on the ATST standing in the open. The enemy fires a bolt of azure lightning. A PPC cannon erupts from its right arm. Crack, boom. It strikes Keel's ATST dead center in the command cabin. The ATST staggers back, smoke pouring from the viewport. Keel screams over the comms. Shields are gone, gyro stabilizing. I cannot see him. The enemy mech steps forward to crash the staggering walker, exposing its rear flank and heat exhaust vents to you. You are in a perfect spot. So, combat round one status, I have the surprise. Um, I'm in the Dominion Heavy Mech's rear arc. Let's see, I have a heavy laser cannon. If I decide to shoot, that's an easy roll of 10. And I have a 5D to do it. I rolled an 18. All right. The GM, boom. Your aim is true. The crimson beam of your heavy laser cannon lances out at the tree line, striking the Dominion mech precisely where its torso joins the hip assembly, the rear heat dispensation vents. Damage resolution. It rolled for me, so it rolled a 24 in favor of me. Enemy hull roll, rear armor 4D 11 is what it had. So it got severe damage. The laser melts through the black durasteel like wax. A secondary explosion erupts from the enemy mech's back, venting superheated plasma. The massive 75-ton machine lurches violently forward, nearly face planting into the dirt. Its right arm, the one that shot Keel, sparks and hangs limp. The actuator has fused. The enemy pilot roars over the open frequency, sounding less robotic and more furious now. Ambush. Cowards. Engage hostiles too. Let's see. The wounded giant begins to turn its torso towards your hiding spot in the trees. Its remaining left arm mounted a rotary autocannon and missile rack spinning up. Meanwhile, the other two drop pods hiss open. From the smoke, 5 armored troops jet jumped out. They aren't standard stormtroopers. They are 3 meters tall, wearing bulky, powered battle armor. Think Battletech Elementals, mate Dark Troopers. They are carrying heavy repeating blasters, and moving fast toward the tree line to flush you out. Keel's ATST is smoking but still standing. I'm I'm rebooting systems. I have partial power, kid. You've got 5 toads heading your way. It's funny that it remembers that they were called toads when the Intersphere first saw the elementals. All right, combat round 2, initiative. You act for the first time. Now they are aware. Threats: the Dominion heavy mech severely damaged, locked onto you with missiles and an autocannon at short range. I have 5 armored troopers, toads, closing the distance to melee/ point blank range. Your status as in cover, but they know where I am. All right, so out of a couple different ideas, what do we want to do? I can stand my ground, I can switch targets, I can do evasive maneuvers, or I can call kill. I'm choosing to stand my ground and call kill at the same time. Now, the GM, you bark orders into the comms. Kill, keep those toads off of me. I'm taking the big guy. Copy that. Eating dirt. Kill responds. The ATST chin guns scream to life, strafing the ground in front of the advancing power armor troopers. The toads scatter, their jump jets flare as they are forced to deal with the walker suppressing them. That leaves you and the black clad heavy mech. It has finished turning its left arm, a terrifying rotary autocannon, likely a heavy repeating slash AC-10 hybrid, spinning up with a high-pitched whine. The pod on its shoulder flips open, revealing a rack of short-range concussion missiles. This is a quick draw. The enemy is damaged, sparking, and venting plasma. But if it gets a full volley off, your light sentinel will be scrap metal. um, so the GM here is saying it needs two rolls: one an initiative with a difficulty of 15, and the second a mech gunnery of a 15. Unfortunately for me, my initiative I rolled an 8, and attack I rolled an 8, so I failed on both of them. All right, the dice are cruel. Are cruel this round. The genetically enhanced reflexes of the Dominion pilot are too fast. Before your finger can fully depress the firing stud, the enemy mech's missile racks flare white hot. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. 6 concussion missiles streak towards you. You try to pivot, but you are a split second too slow. Impact. 3 missiles slam into the ancient ironwood trees protecting you, turning them into shrapnel. The other 3 catch your sentinel on the upper left torso. The explosion was deafening. Warning klaxons scream in your cockpit as your mech is violently thrown backwards. Because of the massive impact, your return shot goes wild. Your heavy laser carves a molten trench into the dirt 10 meters to the left of the enemy. Damage report. Armor integrity. Critical breach on left torso systems. Your radar/sensor suite is offline. Static fills your screens. Status: you are teetering. A blast knocked your gyro off balance. The heavy mech stomps forward, smoke curling from its missile launchers, its rotary cannon spinning up for a second shot. The target suppression confirmed. The pilot growls, finishing. Keel screams, "Kid, you're smoking bad. Get out of there." Several rolls, or survival roll. Your mech is stumbling backward, about to topple over. If you fail, you're a sitting duck for the autocannon. All right, I need a mech piloting roll to stabilize the gyro and keep the walker upright. Difficulty is 15. I get 5D to roll. Unfortunately, I rolled a 9. My luck is always horrible here, so it's no big surprise to me. Uh, the GM, gravity wins. Your sentinel catches the root. The gyro screams in protest, and a 25-ton machine topples backwards. Crash. The impact rattles your teeth. Your harness locks tight, bruising your collarbone. The world outside your viewport spins and settles at a crooked angle. You are looking up through the canopy of the rainforest. Smoke fills the cockpit, sparks shower from the console. Thud. Thud. The ground shakes. The black Dominion heavy mech steps into your field of view, looming over you like a mythical giant. It looks undamaged enough to kill you. The rotary autocannon on its left arm is spinning, a blur of death. Observation. The pilot's voice grates over the comms, cold and analytical. Local security forces display inadequate survival instincts. The autocannon barrels begin to glow. He's going to turn your cockpit into a crater. Suddenly, your sensor board, which you thought was dead, pings with high priority IFF identification friendly or foe signal entering the atmosphere at Mach 5. This is Wraith Leader to grounds assets. Keep your heads down. We are starting our run. A scream of twin ion engines tear through the sky. Two TIE D defenders, the advanced automated Imperial fighters used by Picket Fleet, streak overhead, painting the jungle with green laser fire. The Dominion pilot is distracted for a microsecond, looking up at the incoming strafing run. You have one heartbeat to act before the chaos erupts. I can A, take the coward's way out, punch the ejection button. I can B, be a hero, um, and I can try to um, aim and shoot at point blank range to cripple them. Very hard difficulty. The tactician, reroll power to shields and brace for impact. Hope the ties distract him enough that his aim is off and my armor holds. Or D, the mechanic, attempt to hotwire the reactor to vent coolant smoke, making it look as though I'm already dead and or destroyed. I went for option D, not knowing that knowing I'm gonna have a bad roll anyways, because I usually do. Okay, so a risky psychological play. Um, you frantically tear open the maintenance panel under the main console. Your fingers fly over the manual override switches. You aren't looking to fix the gyro, you're trying to trick the enemy's sensors by dumping your thermal coolant and killing the main power bus simultaneously. This will create a massive plume of white um, acritic smoke and cause your mech's heat signature to drop to wreckage levels instantly. If you fail, you just turn yourself off while he's aiming at you. So I have a deception mechanical roll, mech repair roll. I need a 15 or better. I get 4D to roll on this one. Now, this one I did actually roll a 15 on the nose, but a saving grace. All right, GM, hiss. You yank the emergency release on the coolant loop and slam the master breaker. Thick, white, chemically um, acidic smoke blasts out of your Sentinel's vents, engulfing the cockpit. The lights on your dashboard die instantly. The hum of the fusion engine fades to a silence that feels louder than the battle. You hold your breath in the dark, sweating, suspended in your harness at a 45-degree angle. Through the reinforced viewport, obscured by the white fog, you see the shadow of the Dominion heavy mech. It pauses, its sensor sweep washes over you, a tangible thrumming sound. Target neutralized. The pilot drones engaging aerial threats. The ground shakes as the massive machine turns away from your corpse and thunders off to engage the TIE defenders. Its autocannon tearing into the sky. You are alive. However, the battle isn't over. Um, Through the thin walls of your unpowered cockpit, you hear the heavy rhythmic thumping of powered armor boots. The Toads, the 5 battle armor troopers, are moving past your position, advancing towards Keel's ATST. They think or that I am dead, so they ignore you. You can hear Keel on the emergency survival channel, a low power earpiece. Kid, I lost your signal. Dang it. I can't hold these infantry back alone. They're shredding my legs. Through the side glass, you see them. 3 of the armored troopers are about 15 meters away, backs to you, firing rockets at Keel. The other 2 have jump jetted ahead. Your mech is powered down, but the personal scale repeating blasters Chin mounted have a battery backup for emergency defense. You won't need the main reactor, but you'll have to aim manually without targeting computers. So I could do a surprise attack, flip the battery switch, and unleash a storm of battery or blaster fire at the back of the three troopers. On foot, I can pop out of the hatch, grab my blaster pistol, and slip into the jungle and try and pick them off a little at a time. I can do a full reboot, but this is going to take an extra round in order to get everything started up, and it'll tell everyone I'm powering up. Or I could play dead, stay put, Keel is on his own. All right, so my decision is let's go with the option A and punch the ejection button. If they know I'm alive, my mech is most likely going to be terminated. So the GM says that's smart. You're going to sting them and then disappear before the hammer falls. You flip the auxiliary battery toggle. The chin mounted guns hum with a low grade charge, just enough. You grip the manual triggers, looking through the cracked glass at the backs of the three armored troopers. They have no idea you're still in the fight. Roll for the ambush. I need a mech gunnery. Difficulty is easy of 10, and I do have a 6D character scale um, on damage. I get to roll 5 dice. I get a 22. All right, a glorious ambush. You squeeze the triggers. The backup capacitors dump their entire charge in 3 seconds. Twin streams of red plasma erupt from the chin of your dead walker. The three armored troopers, caught completely unaware, are torn apart. The heavy bolts chew through their rear power packs. One trooper explodes immediately as his missile ammunition cooks off. The other two are cut down, their armor slagged and smoking. All right. Success. 3 hostiles neutralized. You don't stick around to celebrate. As the barrels glow white hot, you grab the ejection handle between your legs and pull. Ka-chunk, fawoosh. Explosive bolts blow the canopy clear. Your command chair rockets upward on a pillar of flame, shooting you out of the smoke and into a humid air of Oberon. You arc high above the tree line before getting a brief, chaotic view of the battlefield. All right, north, we have the Dominion heavy mech is firing wildly into the sky, tracking the Screaming Tide defenders. East, Keel's ATST is limping, sparks showering from the knee joint, firing at the remaining 2 toads who are darting between trees. South, a massive shadow falls over the land. A Republic Nebulan B frigate is breaking cloud cover, descending for orbital support. The gravity catches up to me. Your chute deploys with a bone jarring snap, and you drift down into the thick ferns about 50 meters away from the wrecked mech. You hit the ground, roll, and detach the harness. You are now on foot. You draw your DL-44 heavy blaster pistol. The immediate area is quiet, save for the distant boom of the Walker battle. But then you hear thrusters. The remaining 2 armored troopers who were attacking Keel have realized the threat came from your position. They have broken off their attack at the ATST and are jet jumping toward your crash site to finish the job. They think I am still in the mech, or at least near it. I am hidden in the ferns. They are landing near me. The smoke of the walker scanning um, for life signs. So what do I do? I can A, be a sniper. I have the element of surprise, take your aim, and lead troopers, visor, sensor, plate, and fire. I don't think that's going to happen very well. The distraction, throw a thermal flare grenade, standard survival kit gear away from me and draw their attention. Then flank them with Keel's ATST. We have C, close quarters. Wait until they walk past the bush and try to jam your blaster into their armor joints. Melee combat, brawl, approach, or I can signal Keel calm Keel and tell him to stomp to my position. It's risky, but the ATST foot handles armored infantry better than hand blasters. Now I chose option D. So this is the definition of danger close. You press the transmit key on your helmet comms, whispering urgently, Keel, listen to me. Don't ask questions. Target the transponder signal. Fire everything you have at the crash site now. Are you crazy? Keel's voice chuckles back, or crackles back, filled with panic. You're right there. I'll vape you. Do it. Through the ferns, you see the two armored troopers. They are huge, their servos whining as they inspect your empty cockpit. One of them turns, scanning the tree line. His helmet sensor glows red. He's looking right at your hiding spot. He raises his heavy blaster. You hear the mechanical whirl clank of Keel's ATST pivoting its torso rapidly behind you. Roll for coordination. This is a deception roll. You need to time the roll away from the blast zone perfectly with Keel's firing rhythm. If I fail, I might catch a splash damage from Keel as he tries to hit the troopers. It's a difficulty of 15. All right, so roll is either going to be a 3 or 4D. I rolled a 1 on the wild die, which cancels out the highest die of 5. I failed. All right, critical failure. The ghost of the machine strikes at the worst possible moment. You scream, do it, but Keel's damaged turret targeting computer combines with his panic, causing a fatal error. Instead of triangulating the troopers near the crash site, his sensors locked onto the strongest signal source, my comlink. Keel pulls the trigger, firing. You see the flash of the ATST chin guns, but the angle is wrong, terrifyingly wrong. The heavy blaster bolts don't arc over you, they slam into the canopy of the massive trees you are using for cover. Boom! The world explodes in a shower of superheated wood splinters and the concussive force. You aren't hit directly by the bolt, but the shockwave lifts you off the ground and slams you hard into the mud. The two armored troopers are knocked down by peripheral blasts, but they aren't the ones who took the direct hit. You were. Damage resistant check. You were caught in the splash zone. Damage 4D blast shrapnel. Target number 14. That's what the computer rolled. So I have to do a strength roll to resist the damage. I do get a plus 1D because I have a flight suit or vest, which adds a plus 1D to this roll. I roll a 12. I needed a 14 or better. All right, I am stunned. The difference is 2 points. 14 damage versus 12 resistance, and the D6 system leaves me stunned. The effect, I suffer a negative 1D penalty to all skill rolls for the rest of the scene or until I take a round to shake it off. The shockwave hits you like a physical wall. You are slammed into the mud beneath, uh, breath driven from your lungs. Your vision blurs, and a high pitched whine drowns out all sound. You can't feel your fingers for a second. Through the haze, you see movement. The blast knocked the two armored troopers off their feet, but their powered armor absorbed the worst of it. They are getting up. They are angry. One of them points a massive gauntleted hand directly at you. You are lying prone in the dirt, your blaster pistol a few feet away. You can see the scorch marks on their armor where your ambush almost worked. Target acquired, one of them booms, voice amplified. Executing. He raises his arm mounted bolter. All right, I have a split second. I am also dazed, so it's a negative 1D. I am prone and gunless. The desperate dive. I can dive for the fallen DL-44, fire from my back. I could B, The scramble roll to the crater created by Keel's missed shot. It offers heavier cover. I can see the force of nature. The massive ironwood tree branch above them was severed by Keel's shot and is hanging by a thread of bark. Shoot the branch, easier to hit than a trooper to drop tons of wood on top of them. Or D, it's Keel's redemption. Scream into the mic for Keel to step forward. If he walks blindly, he might crush them or you with the ATST foot. So I chose C. A classic move. You're going to use the environment to finish off what the blaster fire couldn't. You shake your head to clear the ringing. The massive ironwood branch, thick as a speeder truck, is dangling precariously above the two troopers, held only by a few fibrous strands of bark and gravity's hesitation. You lunge for your DL-44 in the mud. The troopers are taking a step towards you, their weapons charging. They don't look up. They are focused on the soft target on the ground. The shot. You need to sever the last strip of bark. Skill Blaster 5D, penalty -1D because I'm stunned. I have 4 dice. I need a 10 or better. I happen to roll a 16 on this one. Snap. The blaster roll sizzles through the rain-soaked bark with a groan and sound like a dying beast. The massive ironwood branch gives way. The two armored troopers look up at the sound, but it's too late. Tons of dense alien lumber crash down upon them. Crunch. There is no scream, just a sickening sound of metal crumpling, the servos shuddering. The branch buries them in the mud, flattening the ferns and shaking the ground beneath you. One of the troopers' arms is sticking out from under the log, twitching once before going still. You exhale, the adrenaline slowly clearing the stun effect from your head. I'm no longer stunned. Keel's voice comes over the comms, shaky but relieved. Target, target down, kid. I'm so sorry about my shot. That my targeting computer is fried. I'm running on manual. You stand up, wiping mud from your flight suit. You're still alive. The immediate infantry threat is gone. However, the war isn't over. About 200 meters north, the Dominion heavy mech is roaring in frustration. It has swatted one of the TIE defenders out of the sky. You see the fighter spiral down in flames, but the Nebula B frigate in the clouds is dropping a specialized dropship. The heavy mech knows its time is up. It is beginning to retreat, backing up right towards your position. It doesn't see you yet, but it will step on you or spot you in moments. You look at the crushed troopers. The branch pinned them, but one of their weapons was knocked loose and skidded across the dirt near you. It's a MiG pulse launcher, an anti-droid slash anti-vehicle heavy weapon. All right, so we can do either a David versus Goliath. I can grab the launcher and try and hit the mech. I could B, the escape, scramble up the side of Keel's mech and hope for a run out of there. C, the commandeer. One of the troopers' jump packs looks intact and on the crushed body. Strap it on. It's risky, and I'm untrained, but try to board the enemy mech and sabotage it from being on the hull. Or D, observe and report. Stay low in the crater, let it go by, and just report. I try David versus Goliath, so plan A it is. All right, scramble over the mud slicked roots and grab the MiG pulse launcher. It's heavy. The weapon was designed for a genetically engineered trooper in powered armor. It weighs nearly as much as you do. You have to drag it onto the stump and prop the barrel up, treating it more like a field cannon than a rifle. The Dominion heavy mech is 50 meters away and closing. It is backing up, firing its rotary cannon at the sky, oblivious to the ant at its feet. You wrestle the sights into alignment, and the scope is digital and flashing alien ruins, but the trigger mechanism is universal. You hear the high pitched whine of the magnetic capacitors charging. All right, so out of this shot, I need to hit the rear knee actuator, the hamstring of the walker. I'm going to be using my blaster skill of 5D with a penalty of -1 because the weapon is massive and unfamiliar. So I have 4D to roll a 15 or better. I get a 15, just barely. Okay, that was a perfect hit. You grit your teeth and squeeze the heavy trigger. The MiG pulse launcher doesn't kick, it shoves, sending a wave of magnetic distortion that rattles your bones. A sphere of crackling blue energy streaks across the clearing. It impacts the Dominion mech right in the knee joint just as it lifts its foot to step back. Zzz, crack. Blue lightning arcs wildly up the mech's leg. The massive myomer muscles and hydraulic servos seize instantly. The leg locks rigidly in mid-step. The 75-ton war machine loses its center of gravity. It tips slowly, majestically, like a felled tree and slams face first into the mud with a ground-shaking thoom. The pilot screams over the open channel, a sound of pure rage before the comms cut the static. The cavalry arrives. Seconds later, the sky tears open. A flight of Y-wing bombers, New Republic surplus, shriek over the tree line. They don't need to aim hard. You've turned the enemy into a stationary target. Boom, boom, boom. Photon torpedoes slam into the downward mech, turning it into a bonfire of twisted metal and slag. Keel's ATST limps up beside you, smoke still pouring from its head. He opens his top hatch and looks down at you, wiping soot from his face. Kid, he wheezes, grinning, remind me never to piss you off. All right, so that's it for episode 1. Now, we earned 5 character points for creative use of terrain, surviving a destroyed mech, and disabling a heavy with infantry weapons. We have an interlude and the recruitment. So, forward operating base Delta Oberon 3 days later. The dust has settled. The Dominion attack on Oberon was just one of a dozen simultaneous strikes across the border. But it was the only one where a local patrol unit managed to take down a heavy command mech. You are sitting in a medical tent getting a back-to-patch applied to your bruised shoulder. Your Sentinel mech is a total write-off, currently being picked apart by Republic techs for analysis. A Mon Calamari officer in a crisp New Republic uniform enters the tent. He is flanked by an Imperial liaison officer, a human woman in a gray olive drab uniform. This is the face of the new alliance. The Mon Calamari speaks, his voice gravelly. I am Commander Abystum. We received your combat recorder. You pilot well, but you fight like a womp rat, dirty, desperate, and effective. The Imperial liaison nods. Standard Academy pilots would have died in that ambush. You improvised. We need that kind of thinking. Abystum places a data pad on a crate next to you. The local security forces are being absorbed into the Grand Defense Initiative. We have a new task force assembling to hunt down the source of the new Dominion attacks. We have a seat for you. Now he offers me a choice of assignment that will define the path for the open universe here. We can either do the Rogue Squadron path, a heavy part of the Republic Navy. You are assigned to Task Force Vanguard. You will be issued a top of the line shield equipped medium mech, Republic Tech, and deployed as a rapid response elite pilot. Focus military discipline, big battles, high tech gear. We could be the Wrath Squadron Path, Special Ops. You are recruited into a ghost cell. You will operate undercover using captured and or modified gear, like the Meg Pulse launcher. You will be sent behind enemy lines to sabotage Dominion factories. Focus commando work, stealth, infantry, and mech mix. And then C, the solo path, a privateer. They offer you a letter of marque. You stay independent, keep the salvage rights of what you kill, and they provide you with a transport ship and a refitted mech. You work with them, but not for them. Focus is money, freedom, ship management.
Which contract do you sign? I'll take option A. My dice are not always the kindest to me to run alone. GM, a wise choice. In the D6 system, the wild die can be a cruel mistress. Having a wingman or an entire squadron can save your life when you roll a 1 at a critical moment. You sign the data pad. Episode 2, Vanguard Squadron. Location: Hangar Bay of the MC-80B Star Cruiser Deepwater. System: orbiting Onderon. Time: 48 hours later. You stand on the polished deck of the massive Mon Calamari cruiser. The hangar is a hive of activity. Astromech droids chirp as they weld armor plates. Load lifters carry racks of proton torpedoes. Through the magnetic containment field of the hangar bay, you can see the fleet. It is a sight to behold, angular Imperial Star destroyers flying in formation with organic, bulbous Mon Cal ships. A massive Battletech jump ship, a skeletal vessel with a massive solar sail, hangs in the distance, ready to slingshot the fleet to the next combat zone. Commander Ibtism walks you down the line of walkers. Vanguard Squadron is a heavy reconnaissance unit, he explains. We drop first. We find the enemy. We crack their shells so the heavy battalions can finish them. You need a machine that can keep up. He stops in front of Bay 7. Inside stands your new ride. It is sleek, painted in Republic white with blue trim. It has the reverse articulated legs of a Marauder, but the cockpit of an X-Wing fighter. Walker Data, Valkyrie, medium strike mech. Craft, Income/Subro T-65M Valkyrie. Type, medium strike mech, 55 tons. Scale, Walker. Move, 45, 130 kilometers per hour fast. Body strength, 4D. Shields, 2D Walker scale, regenerating. Weapons, 2 heavy laser cannons, arm-mounted. Damage, 6D. Range, 50-300/1/2 km. 1 proton torpedo launcher, shoulder. Damage, 9D Walker scale. Ammo, 6 torpedoes. Jump jets, capable of 150m leaps. A Trandoshan in a flight suit is leaning against the leg of the mech, cleaning a jagged vibro knife. This is Lieutenant Bosquiti, your flight leader. He hisses a laugh. Fresh meat. I saw the tapes from Onderon. You kill good, but can you follow orders? Before you can answer, the klaxons blare. All hands to battle stations. Vanguard Squadron to the tubes. This is not a drill. Bosquiti snaps his knife shut. Save the chatter. We have a drop. The mission, Ice and Iron. Destination, Renvar, the frozen world. Intel, long-range sensors have detected a Dominion staging ground in the ruins of an ancient citadel. They are digging for something. You scramble up the gantry and strap into the Valkyrie. The cockpit smells like new leather and ozone. It's a huge upgrade from the Sentinel. The displays light up in crisp Orbesh. Vanguard 5, that's you. This is lead. Drop sequence initiated. We are dropping hot. Expect anti-air. Your mech is loaded into a drop pod. The floor drops out. Slam. You are plummeting through the atmosphere of Ren various ice crystals streak past your viewport. Turbulence rattles your teeth. Contact. Bosquiti yells. They have flak cannons on the ridge. Break formation on landing. Your pod hits the snow-covered glacier with an explosion of steam. The bolts blow. You step out into a blinding blizzard. Visibility is low. Your radar shows 3 distinct paths to the Citadel ruins up ahead. You need to choose your approach vector for the squadron. As the new guy with the hot hand, Boss Guaiti is testing you. 5. Take point Boss Guaiti orders. Which way are we pushing? A. The frozen lake. Speed a wide-open flat expanse of ice. You can move at top speed, 130 kilometers per hour, but there is zero cover. If they have snipers, you're exposed. B. The Glacier Canyon. Stealth/CQC, a twisting maze of ice walls. It forces close quarters combat, short range. Good for your jump jets, bad for sensors. C. The Ridge Line. High ground use jump jets to hop up the cliff face. It's slow and difficult terrain, piloting checks required, but you'll rain fire down on them from above. What is your command decision? Let's take option B. GM, good choice, Boss Guaiti hisses over the comms. Like a predator in the reeds. We make them fight us knife to claw. You throttle down and guide your Valkyrie into the mouth of the jagged ice canyon. The wind howls, driving snow horizontally across your viewport. The walls rise 200 meters on either side, sheer cliffs of blue, translucent ice. The interference from the mineral-rich ice causes your sensors to ghost. Red dots appear and vanish on your radar screen. You are flying blind, relying on thermal optics and instinct. The squadron forms a single file column. You are on point. Boss Guaiti is behind you, followed by 3 other squad mates, Vanguard 2, 3, and 4. As you navigate a sharp hairpin turn, the ground beneath you changes from snow to slick, glass-like sheet ice. Your 55-ton machine loses a fraction of its grip. To make matters worse, your thermal sensors pick up 4 heat spikes directly above you, clinging to the canyon walls like spiders. Ambush. Dominion arachnid walkers, quad-leg light mechs, fast and agile, are scaling the vertical ice walls using magnetic claws. They're dropping directly on top of the column. Action required. You need to keep your footing on the slick ice while simultaneously reacting to the drop attack. I need 2 roles from you. Mech piloting, 5D, to maintain balance on the frictionless ice as you evade the falling enemy. Difficulty, moderate, 15, ice terrain penalty. Sensors/perception, 3D to get a target lock on the enemy before they land on your hull. Difficulty, moderate, 15, blizzard plus sudden ambush. Roll your dice. Piloting is a 7, sensors is an 11. GM, the ice is unforgiving. Your footpad hits the frictionless patch, and your 55-ton Valkyrie reacts like a speeder bike on an oil slick. You jam the control sticks to correct, but the Euro screams in protest. The mech pirouettes wildly, spinning 360 degrees. Crunch. Your left shoulder slams violently into the canyon wall, shattering a shelf of ancient ice. The impact rattles your teeth and creates a spiderweb crack in your side viewport. Because you were spinning and blind, sensor failure, you never saw the death from above. Clang SCRECH. A massive weight hits the top of your mech. Metal claws dig deep into your hull plating, tearing through your shielding. The Dominion arachnid walker, a terrifying 4-legged machine with a low-slung turret, has landed directly on your roof. It is perched on your cockpit canopy like a monstrous tick. Through your upper viewport, you see its multifaceted sensor eyes glowing red, inches from your face. A mechanical drilling laser on its underbelly begins to spin, aiming right for your pilot hatch. Get it off me! Get it off! Vanguard 3 screams. He is also grappling with 1. Boss Guaiti's voice cuts through the panic. 5. You have a parasite. It's trying to core you. Do something. You are pinned against the ice wall, stability critical, with an enemy mech literally hugging you. Your main arm-mounted heavy lasers can't articulate enough to shoot something sitting on your own head. What do you do? A. The ceiling scraper, jump jets. Your Valkyrie has powerful jump jets. Ignite them at max thrust and launch yourself upward. Ram the arachnid into the overhanging ice shelf to crush it or knock it loose. Requires a mech piloting check. B. The bear hug, strength release your control sticks, and use your mech's manual grapple subroutines. Reach up with your mech's arms, grab the spider's legs, and physically rip it off your cockpit. Requires a mech strength/lifting check. C. The point-blank, risky shooting you can't use your arm lasers, but you have a proton torpedo launcher on your shoulder. If you angle your torso just right, you might be able to dumbfire a torpedo into its underbelly. Warning, you will be caught in the blast radius. Shields must hold or you die. D. The statue freeze. Shout for Boss Quaiti to take a precision sniper shot to clear the bug off you. Relies on his dice roll, not yours. Option A. GM, you're going to try to scrape this bug off using the ceiling. It is a violent, nausea-inducing maneuver. The drill laser on the arachnid screams, cutting a glowing orange circle into your viewport's armored glass. Smoke fills your cockpit. You can hear the screech of metal fatigue as it tightens its grip. You grit your teeth and slam the jump jet ignition pedals to the floor. Whoosh! The Valkyrie shudders as the fusion-powered thrusters on your back erupt. Usually, these are for graceful arcs over terrain. Today, they are a battering ram. You rocket straight up, carrying the extra tonnage of the enemy mech with you. The ice ceiling of the canyon overhang is about 20 meters up, jagged, ancient, and harder than Durasteel. The maneuver, you need to hit the roof hard enough to crush the enemy, but angle your mech so you don't take the brunt of the impact. Skill, mech piloting, 5D. Difficulty, hard, 20. You are starting from a bad position on slick ice, carrying a heavy load, aiming for a specific impact point. Roll your 5D. Rolled a 20. GM, exact change. You needed a 20, you got a 20. This is a by the skin of your teeth moment. Your jump jets roar, fighting the extra weight of the parasite. You shoot upward like a missile, twisting your torso at the last second to present the enemy mech to the ice. Crunch boom. The impact shakes your entire skeleton. The sound is deafening, like a hammer hitting a bell inside a freezer. The Dominion arachnid takes the full force of the collision. Its legs are sheared off by the jagged ice ceiling. Its main chassis is crushed against your hull. The drilling laser stops instantly. You cut the thrust. Gravity takes over. You fall back to the canyon floor, landing hard on one knee. Debris rains down around you, chunks of blue ice and twisted black metal. The remains of the arachnid slide off your canopy and crash into the snow, sparking and dead. Damage report. Shields, down to 50%. Hull, scratched, but integrity holds. Status, you are free. However, the comms are chaotic. I can't shake him. He's cutting through. Vanguard 3 screams. You look to your right. Vanguard 3's mech is thrashing wildly. Another arachnid is clamped onto his back, digging into the reactor housing. If it breaches the core, he goes nuclear. Meanwhile, 2 more arachnids have dropped from the ceiling and are engaging Boss Quaiti and Vanguard 2 in a swirling melee on the ice. You are the only one free and in position to help Vanguard 3. What do you do? A. Precision shot. You are close. Use your heavy laser cannons to shoot the spider off his back. Risk. If you miss, roll a 1 on the wild die. You might hit Vanguard 3's reactor yourself. B. Physical removal. Sprint over and use your mech's hand/arm actuator to grab the spider and rip it off him, melee. Risk. You have to cross the slick ice again. C. Use the torpedo. You have the proton torpedoes. Target the ground near them to create a shockwave that knocks them both down, hopefully dislodging the enemy. Risk. Blast damage to your squad mate. D. Cover fire. Ignore Vanguard 3. He might survive, and help the flight leader, Boss Quaiti, clear his targets first. Risk. Vanguard 3 likely dies. Option A. GM, you're threading the needle. This is the kind of shot they teach you not to take at the academy because the margin for error is measured in centimeters. Vanguard 3 is spinning, trying to shake the parasite. The arachnid is digging deep, its claws anchored in the reactor shielding. If you miss by a fraction to the left, you blow a hole in the canyon wall. If you miss by a fraction to the right, you core your squad mate and turn him into a fusion bomb. Hold still, 3. I'm taking the shot, you shout. Don't. You'll hit M. You ignore the protest and toggle your targeting computer to fine point mode. The reticle shrinks to a pinpoint. The shot. Skill, Mech Gunnery, 5D. Difficulty, Difficult, 20. The target is small, moving, and attached to a friend. Critical warning. If your wild die comes up as a 1, you will hit Vanguard 3 directly in the reactor. Take a deep breath and roll your 5D. Rolled a 27, the wild die hit 6 twice. GM, great shot, kid. That was 1 in a million. With the wild die exploding twice, this isn't just a hit, it is surgical art. You squeeze the trigger. The twin heavy laser cannons converge at a focal point barely the size of a dinner plate. The beams hiss through the swirling snow, passing within centimeters of Vanguard 3's reactor shielding. Zap. The laser strikes the arachnid exactly in its power core. It doesn't just explode, it vaporizes instantly in a flash of expanding plasma. Because your aim was so perfect, the explosion is directed outward, away from your squad mate. Vanguard 3 stumbles forward, smoke rising from his scorched paint, but he is alive. I'm clear. I'm clear, he shouts, voice trembling. 5, I owe you a drink. Or a kidney. Take your pick. With the ambush broken and their element of surprise gone, Bosquite and Vanguard 2 make short work of the remaining spiders. The canyon falls silent, save for the howling wind. Bosquite's voice is low and approving. Form up. We aren't done yet. That was just the perimeter guard. The ancient gate. You push forward, exiting the ice canyon. The landscape opens up into a massive, excavated crater. In the center of the crater lies the Citadel. It isn't a building, it is a massive set of blast doors buried in the ice, clearly of ancient design, perhaps Rakatan or Star League era. The Dominion has set up a forward base around the doors. They are trying to crack them open. The situation. The target, a massive laser drill, is cutting into the blast doors. Defenses. 2 auto turret towers, heavy blaster cannon, guarding the approach. A shield generator protecting the drill site. Patrolling battle mechs, 2 Centurion-class medium walkers and a squad of those towed armored troopers. Bosquite marks the targets on your HUD. We need to stop that drill before they breach the vault. If they get whatever is inside, the war is over. He outlines a plan, but he looks to you, the ace of the day, for the execution method. 5, you have the best arm. How do you want to play this? A. The trench run speed and torpedoes. The shield generator has a thermal exhaust port, classic flaw. You can use your high speed, 130 kilometers per hour, to sprint through the turret fire, get under the shield, and dumbfire your proton torpedoes directly into the generator. B. The sniper nest, stealth and gunnery. Use your jump jets to get to the top of the Citadel ruins. From there, you can snipe the auto turret power couplings to clear the way for the rest of the squad to charge. C. The gladiator. Intimidation. Step out into the open and challenge their patrol leader. With your reputation, you might draw the Centurions away from the base for a duel, leaving the turrets exposed for your squad. D. Demolitions. Technicals. Scan the ice shelf above the base. If you hit the right structural point with a torpedo, you might cause an avalanche that buries their defenses and the drill in snow. What is your call, Ace? Plan B. GM. Solid copy, Bosquite whispers. We'll hold the tree line. Give us a door, 5. You detach from the formation. The Valkyrie is built for this, a fusion of starfighter speed and walker agility. You throttle up the jump jets, but keep the output low to minimize the thermal flare. You leap. Your mech arcs through the blizzard, landing silently on a crumbling stone parapet overlooking the excavation site. The view is perfect. You are 100 meters above the Dominion base. Below, the 2 auto turret towers are scanning the perimeter. They are automated, cold, and deadly. If your squad charges now, they'll be cut to ribbons. You zoom in your optical sensors. You spot the weakness, an exposed power coupling on the rear of the towers, glowing faint orange against the blue ice. To pull this off, You need to stick the landing on the icy ruins without causing a collapse, which would alert them, and then snipe 2 small targets in rapid succession. I need 2 rolls from you to execute this ambush. Mech piloting, 5D to balance your 55-ton mech on the crumbling, icy ruin wall. Difficulty, moderate, 15. Mech gunnery, 5D to snipe the power couplings on both towers before they can triangulate your position. Difficulty, difficult, 20. Small target, long range. Roll your dice. Piloting is 16, gunnery is 24. GM, textbook execution. Your Valkyrie settles onto the crumbling stone archway with a heavy metallic thud. You feather the gyro stabilizers, keeping the 55-ton machine perfectly balanced on the precipice. The wind howls, but your targeting computer compensates instantly. You cross the crosshairs over the exposed power coupling of the North Tower. Click hiss. A beam of coherence light lances out. The coupling explodes in a shower of sparks. The turret sags lifeless. You pivot the torso. South Tower. Click hiss. Boom. The second turret's ammunition cooks off, blowing the top of the tower apart. Clear. Go. 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 Bossk YT roars. Below you, Vanguard Squadron surges out of the tree line. Laser fire erupts as they engage the Dominion guards. The Toad troopers are cut down by the unexpected charge, but the 2 Centurion mechs hold the line, their autocannons booming. The situation critical. While the battle rages, the laser drill is screaming. It has turned from orange to blinding white. It is seconds away from breaching the Citadel doors. The shield generator, a portable dome emitter, is still active, protecting the drill from your squad's fire. One of the Dominion Centurions spots you on the ridge. It raises its arm-mounted autocannon /10. Thud thud thud. High explosive shells shatter the stone ledge around your feet. You are taking shrapnel. Your balance is threatened. The enemy mech is standing directly in front of the shield generator, using its own body to block your line of sight to the generator while suppressing you. You have a fleeting opportunity before the drill finishes or the ledge collapses. A. The avalanche, environmental, you are perched on unstable ruins. The Centurion is standing on a frozen lake bed below. Instead of shooting the mech, shoot the ice sheet directly at its feet. If you break the ice, the mech and the generator behind it will fall into the freezing water below. B. The Alpha Strike, brute force, ignore the incoming fire, relying on your shields. Lock all 6 proton torpedoes onto the Centurion. Overkill? Yes, but it will turn the mech and the generator behind it into a crater. See Death from Above. Melee ignite your jump jets and perform a Highlander burial. Jump from the ridge and land your 55-ton feet directly on the Centurion's head. It's the most dangerous move in the book, but if it hits, it's an instant kill. D. The team player, tactical calm Bossk YT. Tell him to bank his shot off the Citadel doors, ricochet, while you suppress the Centurion to keep its head down. What is your move, Ace? Plan B. GM. Macross Missile Massacre. I like your style. You stop moving. You plant your Valkyrie's feet on the crumbling stone, ignoring the survival instincts screaming at you to dodge. The Dominion Centurion sees you stop. The pilot thinks you have frozen in panic. He lines up his autocannon /10 and squeezes the trigger. BM, BM, BM. High explosive shells slam into your chest armor. Your cockpit shakes violently. Sparks shower from the ceiling. Your shield indicators drop from 100% to 40% in a blink, but the magnetic field holds just long enough to stop the shrapnel from turning you into paste. Through the smoke and the shaking, your targeting computer flashes red. 6 locks acquired. Eat this, you mutter. You punch the full salvo release. I need 2 rolls to resolve this chaotic moment. Mech gunnery, 5D to guide the 6 torpedoes into the target. Difficulty, moderate, 15. The target is stationary, but you are being shelled. Strength/hull, 6D, your 4D body plus 2D shields, to see if your mech stays standing after taking the AC/10 hits and the massive recoil of firing 6 torpedoes at once. Roll 5D for the attack and 6D for the defense. Rolled 31 for attack and 32 for hull. GM, glorious overkill. With a defense roll of 32, your Valkyrie doesn't just survive the incoming fire, it ignores it. The Centurion's high explosive shells slam into your chest plate and detonate, but your shields flare a brilliant, defiant blue. You don't even flinch. The enemy pilot watches in horror as his best shots wash over you like rain on a windowpane. Then you reply. With an attack roll of 31, this is not a battle, it is an execution. Thwump, 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 thwump. 6 protons torpedoes ripple fire from your shoulder launcher in under 2 seconds. They streak down from the ridge on trails of blue ionization. The Centurion tries to turn, but there is no escape. Boom. The first 2 torpedoes strip its armor. The next 2 core the reactor. The final 2 pass through the disintegrating wreckage of the mech and slam directly into the shield generator and the laser drill behind it. A mushroom cloud of fire and snow rises 100 meters into the air. The shockwave knocks the remaining Dominion troops flat. When the smoke clears, there is nothing left of the Centurion but a pair of smoking legs standing in a crater. The drill is twisted scrap. The shield generator is dust. Victory. Bosquiti's voice comes over the comms, sounding genuinely impressed. Vanguard 5, remind me to never steal your lunch money. That was beautiful. With the heavy armor gone, the rest of the squadron mops up the infantry in seconds. The citadel breached. You climb down from the ridge and walk your Valkyrie toward the massive blast doors. The explosion from your Alpha Strike didn't destroy the doors. They're made of something ancient and incredibly strong, but it destroyed the locking mechanism. The massive slabs of metal grind open, revealing a dark, cavernous hallway large enough for a mech to walk through. Readings are spiking, Vanguard 2 reports. I'm getting energy signatures, not Dominion, not Republic. It looks.
Rakatan.
Maybe Gree? Bosquiti halts the formation. Command says we secure the site, but we need to know what the Dominion was digging for before reinforcements arrive. You peer into the darkness of the citadel. It descends deep underground. How do you proceed? A. Mech entry. Keep the Valkyrie. Walk the 55-ton machine inside. You have firepower and armor, but if the tunnels get tight or the floor collapses, you could be trapped. B. On foot. Power down the mech and go in with your DL-44 blaster and portable scanner. You are smaller, stealthier, and can interact with computer terminals, but you are vulnerable to anything bigger than a womp rat. C. Send the droids. Your mech has a remote probe droid dispenser, standard scout loadout. Send a probe in first and pilot it from the safety of your cockpit. Safe, but sensor range is limited. D. Guard duty. Let the rest of the squad go in. You stay at the door and watch the radar for the Dominion counterattack. Defensive play. What is your choice? Let's go in on foot, plan B. GM, you pop the hatch on the Valkyrie. The biting cold of Renvar rushes into the cockpit, instantly freezing the sweat on your brow. You grab your survival kit and your DL-44 blaster pistol, checking the power pack. Good hunting, Bosquiti grumbles. We'll keep the door open. If you scream, we'll start shooting at the walls. You descend the emergency ladder and hit the snow. Vanguard 2, a human female named Jin, joins you, carrying a portable sensor unit and a heavy blaster rifle. Together, you walk into the darkness. The interior of the citadel is oppressive. The walls are made of a smooth, obsidian-like stone that absorbs the light from your glow rods. The air is stale and smells of ozone and formaldehyde. These markings, Jin whispers, sweeping her light over the walls. They aren't just decorative. They're Rakatan, the infinite empire. This place is 25,000 years old. You reach a massive central chamber. It is dominated by a suspended circular platform over a bottomless pit. In the center of the platform is a single, glowing console, and behind it, a transparent wall of containment glass. Behind the glass is what the Dominion was digging for. It is a biofoundry. Inside a massive amber suspension tank floats a creature. It looks humanoid, but wrong. It has plugs along its spine, enlarged adrenal glands, and wiring woven directly into its muscle tissue. It looks suspiciously like the Toad troopers you fought outside, but ancient. This isn't a clone, it's the template. By the Force, Jin gasps, checking her scanner. The Dominion didn't invent their super soldiers. They found them. They're excavating ancient Rakatan slave warriors and reverse engineering the DNA. Suddenly, the floor beneath you vibrates. Intruder detected, a mechanical voice booms not in basic, but in a primitive, guttural tongue your translator barely recognizes. From the ceiling, a guardian droid drops. It is spindly, made of golden metal, armed with a vibration blade staff and an integrated wrist blaster. It lands between you and the console. Initiative. The droid is fast. Jin, she brings her rifle up, but she's slow. The droid lunges at you. It is closing the distance, 10 meters, to engage you in melee combat. What do? A. The gunslinger. Stand your ground and try to blast it before it reaches you. Classic quick draw. B. The duelist. You have a vibro knife in your kit. Draw it and parry the staff, buying time for Jin to shoot it. Melee parry. C. The tech. Dive for the console. If you can slice the terminal, you might be able to issue a stand down command or activate the room's defenses against the droid. Security/computer programming. D. The acrobat. Roll under its lunge and try to kick it into the bottomless pit. Dexterity/brawling. Plan A. GM. This is a classic standoff. The ancient machine against the modern gunslinger. The Guardian droid doesn't hesitate. Its servos whine at a pitch that hurts your ears as it sprints across the obsidian floor, closing the 10-meter gap in the blink of an eye. The double-bladed vibrostaff spins in its hands, creating a shield of blurred durasteel. You have less than a second to draw, aim, and fire before that staff bisects you. The duel. Initiative. Perception. The droid has a reflex rating of 4D. I rolled a 14 for its initiative. You need to beat that to shoot first. The shot, Blaster the droid, is moving erratically to dodge. The difficulty is moderate, 15. Weapon, DL-44 Heavy Blaster Pistol, damage, 5D. Roll your perception, initiative, and your blaster, attack. Perception is a 12 and blaster is a 22. GM, the initiative roll is the deciding factor here. You are fast, but the machine is powered by ancient, superconducting reflexes. It beats your draw, 14 versus 12. Before you can fully extend your arm, the Guardian droid is inside your guard. It doesn't shoot, it thrusts the glowing tip of its vibrostaff straight at your chest. The droid attacks. Droid melee roll. I rolled a 16. To get that perfect shot off, your roll of 22, you first have to survive this lunging stab. You need to duck, weave, or twist out of the way. Roll your dodge, dexterity. Target number, 16. Stakes. If you roll 16 plus, you slip past the blade by a millimeter. Your shot, 22, goes off and likely destroys the droid. If you roll less than 16, you take the hit, damage 5D. You might be wounded, which will apply a penalty to your shot or interrupt it entirely. Roll your dodge. Rolled a 20. GM, smooth. The Guardian droid thrusts the vibrating staff at your chest, moving with a speed that should have skewered you. But you don't panic. You pivot on your back heel, letting the glowing blade pass millimeters from your flight jacket. You can feel the heat of the weapon on your skin and hear the ozone crackle. You are now inside its guard. The droid is overextended. You raise your DL-44. You don't even have to extend your arm fully. The muzzle is practically touching the droid's golden chassis. The kill shot. Your attack roll of 22 hit easily. Now we just need to see if the heavy blaster bolt penetrates the ancient armor. Weapon, DL-44 Heavy Blaster Pistol. Damage, 5D. Target resistance. The droid has 4D plating. Roll your 5D damage. You want a high number to turn this thing into scrap. Rolled a 19. GM, BLM. The heavy red plasma bolt slams into the Guardian droid's chest at point-blank range. The impact is visceral. The ancient golden armor, brittle from 25,000 years of stasis, shatters. Damage resolution. Your damage, 19. Droid armor roll, 4d13. Result, 6. Wounded/severely damaged. The shot doesn't disintegrate it, but it punches a fist-sized hole through its central chassis. The droid is thrown backward, its internal gyro failing. It crashes onto the obsidian floor, sparks showering from the wound. It tries to rise, one servo whining pitifully, but its weapon arm hangs uselessly by a wire. Jyn steps forward and fires 3 rapid shots from her heavy blaster rifle into its head. Zap, zap, zap. The droid's optical sensors flicker and die. Silence returns to the chamber. Nice reflexes, Jyn breathes, holstering her weapon and rushing to the console. You kept it busy. I'm slicing the system now. She plugs a data pad into the glowing Rockaton interface. The screen scrolls rapidly with alien geometry and DNA sequences. Jackpot, she says, her face pale in the glow of the screen. The Dominion isn't just looking for soldiers. This facility, it's a map. It points to a deep space station in the unknown regions called the Anvil. It's an automated factory that prints these biological pilots and the mechs to match them. If we get this data to the New Republic, we can find it. Suddenly, the entire citadel shakes. Dust falls from the ceiling. Bosquites' voice crackles in your ear, urgent and loud. Vanguard 5. We have a massive heat signature entering the atmosphere directly above you. It's a Dominion Overlord-class dropship. They are here to secure the package personally. Get out of there. Now. You have the data. But you look at the amber tank containing the template, the ancient super soldier. If you leave it, the Dominion will secure it and perfect their army. If you destroy it, you destroy a unique living being, however artificial. The dropship is seconds from landing. You have to make a split-second decision before you sprint back to your mech. A. Scorched Earth. Throw a thermal detonator onto the console and the amber tank. Destroy the data source and the specimen. Deny the enemy everything. Dark side/ruthless points possible, but strategically sound. B. Smash and grab. You can't take the tank, but you can take the head. Shoot the glass. Grab the alien DNA sample, tissue, physically, and run. Science Division will love you, but it takes precious seconds. C. Trap the door. Rig the entrance with your remaining explosives. When the Dominion troops storm in, bury them. Tactical delay. D. Just run. Screw the tank. You have the digital data. Prioritize survival and getting back to the Valkyrie to fight the dropship. What do you do? Plan A. The specimen is not a real being and too much of a threat. GM, you make the hard call. In war, leaving a weapon in the hands of the enemy is the same as pulling the trigger yourself. You prime the thermal detonator, the red light blinking rapidly. You look at the template floating in the amber liquid, a being out of time, a victim of ancient wars, now a tool for a new one. Forgive me, you whisper. You toss the sphere. It skitters across the obsidian floor and slides under the console, right at the base of the tank. Run. You and Jyn sprint for the exit. Boom. The shockwave hits you in the back, hot and violent. The sound of shattering glass and collapsing masonry echoes through the tunnels. The ancient biofoundry is incinerated. The DNA, the technology, and the template are gone. You scramble up the ladder and burst out into the freezing air of Ren Various. The snow is falling harder now, but the sky is lit up by a terrifying sight. A Dominion Overlord-class dropship, a massive, spherical fortress of a ship, easily 100 meters tall, is descending into the crater. Its retrothrusters turn the snow into steam. It lands with a tectonic crunch, crushing the ruins of the Dominion base you just cleared. You vault into the Valkyrie, seal the hatch, and punch the ignition. The fusion engine roars to life. Bosquites' voice is frantic. Vanguard 5. You made it. The dropship just landed a full star of heavy mechs. We are outgunned 5-2-1. We need to punch a hole and get to the extraction point. Your radar lights up. The Overlord's bay doors hiss open. 5 massive silhouettes step out into the storm. Lead Mech, an Atlas-class assault mech, 100 tons, painted in Dominion black and gold. Escorts, 2 Vulture, Mad Dog, missile boats, and 2 Thor, Summoner, heavy strikers. They stand between you and the exit of the crater. The Atlas raises its arm. Surrender the data. A voice booms, amplified over the entire valley. And your deaths will be swift. You have the speed. Valkyrie moves 45/130 km/h. They have the tonnage. How do you break the blockade? A. The Crazy Ivan high-speed charge use your superior speed, 130 kilometers per hour, to zigzag directly through their formation. It's insane, but their heavy weapons might have trouble tracking a fast-moving target at point-blank range. Requires extreme piloting. B. The Geyser Trap. Environmental Renvar is geologically active. Your sensors show a thin crust of ice over a thermal vent right in front of the Atlas. Shoot the ground, create a steam explosion/sinkhole to blind and trap them, then slip past. C. Orbital Bombardment. High risk, call the Deep Water, your Mon Cal cruiser, for a danger-close orbital strike. You are asking them to fire turbolasers into the crater while you are still inside it. It will wipe out the enemy, but you might catch the blast. D. Duel the leader. Challenge the Atlas commander. If you can cripple the leader, the others might hesitate or break formation to protect him, giving your squad a gap to escape. Plan B. GM. A geological ambush. The best kind. Your sensor suite overlays the terrain map on your HUD. While the Dominion pilots see a flat ice field, your thermal optics see the truth. A massive, pressurized geyser chamber lurking just 3 meters beneath the glacier's surface. The Dominion Atlas, 100 tons of Death's Head terror, stomps forward. Its massive feet crunch into the snow, standing directly on top of the pressure point. Last chance, the Atlas pilot drones, his AC/20 autocannons spinning up. Power down. Not today, you whisper. You aim your heavy laser cannons not at the mech, but at the ice directly between its legs. This is a 2-part escape plan. The trigger, mech gunnery, you need to blast through the permafrost to release the pressure instantly. Difficulty, moderate, 15. The ground is stationary, but you need a precise depth penetration. The escape, mech piloting once that steam hits, visibility will be 0, and the ground will shatter. You need to sprint your Valkyrie through the chaos without falling into the sinkhole yourself. Difficulty, moderate, 15. Roll your mech gunnery, 5D, and mech piloting, 5D. Gunnery is 16, piloting is 18. GM, success. You pull the trigger. The twin heavy laser beams slam into the ice directly between the Atlas's massive feet. For a split second, nothing happens. Then, the laws of thermodynamics take over. The superheated laser fire meets the pressurized geothermal pocket beneath the glacier. Kaboom! A geyser of steam, boiling water, and shattered ice erupts with the force of a tactical nuke. The white plume shoots 50 meters into the air, instantly blinding every thermal sensor in the crater. The Atlas, all 100 tons of it, loses its footing as the ground liquefies beneath it. The massive machine lurches sideways, its arms flailing as it sinks waist-deep into the slushy, boiling sinkhole. The pilot's scream of surprise is cut off as he fights to keep his machine from toppling over completely. No! Punch it! Bosk YT roars. You slam the throttle forward. Your Valkyrie responds instantly. You dash into the wall of white steam. Your sensors are screaming static, but your hands are steady, piloting roll 18. You weave between the blinded Vulture and Thor mechs, who are firing wildly into the mist, hitting nothing but rock and ice. You burst out the other side of the crater, your squad right on your heels. You crest the ridge and see the extraction zone ahead. The Republic dropships are waiting. As you lift off, you look back. The Dominion force is in disarray, the Atlas trapped in the ice, the Biofoundry a smoking ruin. You won. Episode 2 complete. Status: Major victory. Experience earned: 10 character points. You earned a bonus for the creative solution with the geyser and the ace moment with the torpedoes earlier. It's trapped in the ice, the biofoundry a smoking ruin. Narrative impact. The template destroyed. The Dominion cannot mass-produce their super soldiers yet. The data secured. The Republic now knows where the enemy is coming from. Reputation. Vanguard Squadron is now a hero unit. Episode 3. The Anvil. Location. The briefing room, MC-80B Star Cruiser Deepwater. Time. 1 week later. Sector. The unknown regions. The fleet is massing. Based on the data you recovered, the Republic and Imperial Remnant have assembled a joint task force. The target is the Anvil, a massive automated factory station hidden inside a dense nebula. Commander Ibtism stands before the holomap. The Anvil is surrounded by a dense ionization nebula, he explains. Capital ships cannot target it effectively. Their shields are too strong. We need a strike team to land on the station's hull, breach the hangars, and plant charges on the main reactor. He looks at you. Vanguard Squadron will lead the assault. You will be dropping onto the station's hull in 0G. Episode 3. Into the Void. Location. The Shroud Nebula Unknown Regions. Mission. Operation Anvil Breaker. The deep water drops out of hyperspace, and the view screen fills with purple gas and lightning. Somewhere inside that chaotic nebula is the Anvil. All wings report in, Commander Ibtism broadcasts. Interference is high. Sensors are limited to short range. Drop sequence in 3, 2, 1. Your squadron doesn't drop in pods this time. You are magnetically clamped to the hull of a blockade runner, the Tanta V. It screams toward the station, dodging green turbo laser fire that erupts from the fog. Detaching in 5 seconds. Good luck, Vanguard. Clunk. The clamps release. You are floating in the void. No gravity. No up or down. Just you, your 55-ton war machine, and the silent, deadly expanse of space. Ahead of you looms the Anvil. It is a moon-sized space station, shaped like a massive tuning fork. The surface is a landscape of gunmetal gray towers, trenches, and massive heat vents. Vanguard 5, lead the way, Bosquite orders. Target is the primary hangar bay at Sector 7G. Watch for flak. You engage your maneuvering thrusters. It feels like flying a starfighter, but you are in a humanoid shape. As you approach the station's surface, the defense grid activates. Hundreds of turbolaser turrets pop up from the station's hull. The space around you fills with green death. You need to stick the landing on the hull to utilize your mag boots and get into cover. The landing. You are coming in hot, 100 meters per second. You need to flip your mech, absorb the impact with your legs, and engage the maglocks instantly. Skill. Mech piloting, 5D plus 1, plus mag boots, plus 1D, equals 6D plus 1. Difficulty. Moderate, 15. Roll your 6D plus 1. I rolled a 24. GM, success. Your Valkyrie performs a perfect combat drift in the void. You rotate 180 degrees, matching the station's spin. Your feet hit the gray Durasteel hull, and the maglocks engage with a silent vibration through the chassis. Clang. Heard only through your hull conduction. You are vertical on the hull, looking down at the stars. The sensation is disorienting for a rookie, but you handle it like a veteran. You immediately crouch behind a massive heat exchanger tower as a green turbolaser bolt slashes through the space where your head was a second ago. Boots green. Magnetic seal at 100%. Your computer chimes. The rest of Vanguard Squadron lands around you. Bosquite's heavy Warhammer lands hard, crushing a sensor array, but he stays upright. Contact front. Bosquite yells over the comms. Sector 7G is guarded. Ahead of you, 3 blast doors slide open on the station's surface. Emerging from the depths are 3 Dominion Void Spiders. These are modified quad-leg mechs, 45 tons, low to the ground, designed specifically for hull crawling. They have 4 magnetic legs and a rotating turret on top mounted with twin-linked pulse lasers. They scuttle sideways over the pipes and trenches, moving disturbingly fast. They don't have to worry about balance in 0G, so they are crawling up the sides of towers and hanging upside down from gantries, firing red plasma at your squad. One of them is skittering directly toward you, climbing over a fuel pipe, its lasers charging. Your action. You have the element of surprise because of your perfect landing. You are currently hull down behind the heat exchanger. The spider doesn't see you yet. You can pop out and take a clean shot at its exposed rear heatsink, critical hit chance, or fire a volley of LRMs to suppress all three of them. Choose your attack. Called shot, laser aim for the rear armor/heatsink. Higher difficulty, 20, but a hit effectively one-shots it. Standard alpha strike, fire lasers and missiles at the closest one. Difficulty, 15. Suppressive fire, spray missiles at the group to force them into cover so your squad can advance. Roll your mech gunnery, 5D+1. Let's do the called shot. I rolled a 23. GM, critical success. You wait for the perfect nanosecond. As the Void Spider crests the fuel pipe, its rear chassis is exposed against the backdrop of the nebula. ZOT. Your large laser strikes with surgical precision. It shears through the rear armor plate and vaporizes the external heatsink. The effect is immediate. The Spider's internal reactor, unable to vent heat, goes critical. A silent, blinding sphere of blue fire expands from inside the machine. The force of the blast snaps its magnetic legs off the hull. The wreckage spins away into the endless void, trailing frozen coolant crystals. Great shot, Vanguard 5. Boss Quiety shouts. Squad, mop them up. Emboldened by your kill, the rest of the unit pushes forward. Boss Quiety smashes a second spider with his PPCs, and the third retreats into a maintenance tunnel. The hangar door. You magnetic walk forward to Sector 7G. The massive hangar bay doors are open, but a shimmering, translucent blue ray shield covers the opening. Nothing gets in or out while that shield is up. Flanking the hangar entrance are two shield generator towers. They are armored bunkers protruding from the hull. We need that shield down to get inside, Ibtism radios. But watch out, those towers have automated point defense systems. As you look at the towers, small automated turrets track your movement. They are too small to hurt your heavy armor significantly, but they can shoot down missiles. Your options. Precision lasers. Use your large lasers to surgically cut the power cables running from the towers to the shield emitter. Harder to hit, but stops the turrets from firing back. Difficulty 18, mech gunnery. Brute force. Overload the generator with pure energy. Fire everything you have directly into the tower. The tower will explode, likely damaging you slightly with shrapnel, but it's an easier shot. Difficulty 12, mech gunnery. Physical assault. Engage jump jets, briefly, boost forward, and kick the generator tower off the hull. Very risky in 0G, but stylish. Difficulty 20, mech piloting. What is your plan? Let's shoot with the laser. I rolled a 27. GM, absolute success. You don't just hit the cables. You trace the energy signature back to the coupling and sever the main conduit with a microsecond pulse. The turrets spin to track you, but before they can fire, their power dies. They slump lifelessly against the hull. The shimmering blue ray shield flickers once, twice, and then dissolves into static. Shields down. Breach. Breach. Boss Quiety roars. You disengage your maglocks and fire your jump jets. You drift through the massive hangar opening, passing through the atmospheric force field. Wham! Gravity reasserts itself. Your Valkyrie slams onto the Duracrete deck of the hangar bay with a heavy metallic thud. You flex the servos, glad to be fighting in 1G again. The rest of Vanguard's squad lands behind you, weapons hot. The hangar bay. The hangar is cavernous, filled with crates, fuel tankers, and repair gantries. Alarms are blaring, audible now that you are in atmosphere, and red warning lights spin on the walls. Because you took down the shield so fast, the defenders inside are scrambling. They haven't fully manned their barricades yet. At the far end of the hangar, guarding the blast doors to the command center, is a heavy bulwark tank. It's a slab of armor on treads, slowly rotating its massive main cannon toward you. Around it, a squad of infantry is rushing to set up a heavy repeating blaster tripod. You have a split second to act before they dig in. Your options. Alpha strike the volatiles. There are stacks of fuel barrels near the infantry. A missile volley there would clear the foot soldiers instantly, leaving just you and the tank. Difficulty 10, Gunnery, easy because of your surprise entry. Death from above. Use your jump jets to leap over the crates and land directly on top of the bulwark tank to crush its turret. High risk, high reward. Difficulty 22, Piloting. Sensor jamming. Use the confusion. Fire smoke canisters and switch to thermal vision, allowing you to pick them off while they can't see you. Difficulty 15, Tech/Sensors. What is your move? Let's hit the fuel containers. I've rolled an 18. GM, success. Your targeting computer locks onto the thermal signature of the volatile fuel. You squeeze the trigger and a swarm of short-range missiles, SRMs, corkscrews from your chest launcher. Tomb. The entire corner of the hangar disappears in a fireball. The shockwave rattles your cockpit teeth. The infantry squad didn't stand a chance. The blast clears the floor instantly, sending crates and debris flying against the walls. The smoke clears, revealing the heavy bulwark tank. It is scorched and its paint is blistered, but its armor held. The tank's turret completes its rotation. The barrel levels directly at your cockpit. Crockham. The tank fires a high-explosive armor-piercing shell. Your options. Evasive maneuvers. Slam the throttle sideways and use your jump jets to strafe. You'll be harder to hit, but your return fire will be less accurate. Difficulty 14, Piloting. Take the hit and trade. Stand your ground to ensure you get a perfect shot on the tank's weak point. You will take damage to your armor, but you'll almost certainly destroy the tank. Difficulty 8, Guts/Gunnery. Point defense. Attempt to shoot the shell out of the air with your laser before it hits you. Incredibly difficult. Jedi-level reflex stuff. Difficulty 25, Gunnery. What do you do? Let's evade the hit. I rolled a 19. GM, success. You jam the stick hard to the right and fire the lateral thrusters. Your Valkyrie lurches sideways just as the air where your cockpit used to be erupts in fire and shrapnel. The shell screams past you and detonates against the hangar wall, blowing a hole in the bulkhead and venting atmosphere into space. The emergency force fields flicker into life to seal the breach. You skid to a halt, your gyro stabilizers whining as they fight to keep you upright. The bulwark tank is now exposed. Its main gun is smoking, and it takes time to reload a shell of that caliber. You have a clear opening. Your options. Laser surgery. The tank's turret ring is exposed while it tries to rotate back toward you. A precise medium laser shot there could weld the turret in place or ignite the ammo. Difficulty 12, Gunnery. Melee charge. You're a 30-ton war machine. Close the distance and kick the tank over like a toy. It saves heat and ammo, but puts you in range of their hull-mounted machine guns. Difficulty 10, Piloting/Melee. Vanguard flank. Signal your squad mates to hit the tank's rear treads with rockets while you suppress it with laser fire. A tactical team play. Difficulty 11, Tactics/Leadership. How do you finish this? We shall try some surgery on the tank. I rolled a 26. GM, critical success. With a roll of 26, you don't just hit the target, you dissect it. Your targeting reticle shrinks to a pinpoint. You ignore the screaming of your heat alarms and unleash a concentrated beam of coherent light directly into the gap between the tank's hull and its turret. The laser slices through the armor ring like a hot knife through butter, instantly fusing the rotation gears. The beam penetrates deeper, striking the autoloader mechanism. K.A. Rumpf. A muffled explosion inside the tank lifts the 20-ton turret 5 feet into the air. It crashes down upside down on the deck, spinning like a top. The tank's chassis shudders and goes still, smoke pouring from the open ring. The hangar is yours. Silence falls, broken only by the hiss of your heatsinks flushing waste heat and the distant wail of bass klaxons. The immediate threat is neutralized. Your options. Salvage data. The tank commander might have had the defense codes. Use your mech's comms claw to pry open the wreckage and hack their onboard computer. Difficulty 12, Tech/Computers. Press the advantage. The explosion surely alerted reinforcements. Don't wait. Smash through the main blast doors at the end of the hangar before they can lock them down. Difficulty 10, Piloting/Strength. The shortcut. The tank's missed shot blew a hole in the exterior bulkhead. It's venting into a service corridor that bypasses the main security checkpoint, but the structure looks unstable. Difficulty 14, Perception/Navigation. What is your next move? I'll try to get the data from the tank. I rolled an 11. GM, failure. You missed the difficulty of 12 by a single point. You kneel the Valkyrie beside the smoking wreck. Your mech's diagnostic probe extends and jacks into the tank's external data port. Green text scrolls rapidly across your HUD. Handshake established. Decrypting. 80%. Suddenly, a secondary explosion from the tank's ammunition storage rocks the chassis. The surge of heat melts the data port instantly. The signal dies, replaced by a connection lost warning. You toggle the feed frantically, but the drive is fried. You got nothing but static, and you wasted precious seconds trying. Clang. The massive blast doors at the far end of the hangar begin to grind shut. The base is going into full lockdown. Behind you, you hear the high-pitched whine of repulsor lifts. A security hover APC and a squad of heavy troopers have entered the hangar. They spot your mech and immediately begin setting up a heavy repeating blaster tripod. Current status, no data. Doors closing. Enemies behind you. Your options. The Indiana Jones slide. Fire your jump jets horizontally and try to slide under the closing blast doors before they seal completely. If you miss, you crush your cockpit. Difficulty 13, Piloting/Reflexes. Suppressive fire. Swing around and unleash your machine guns on the infantry to force them into cover, buying you time to find another way out or override the door controls manually. Difficulty 11, Gunnery. The unstable breach. The blast doors are a lost cause. Head for the jagged hole in the wall the tank shell created earlier. It vents into a service tunnel, but the structure is groaning. Difficulty 12, Navigation/Perception. What is your next move? Let's try the slide. I rolled an 18. GM, success. That was too close. You slam the throttle forward and trigger the jump jets for a microburst. The Valkyrie drops to one knee, the skid screeching against the metal deck plates in a shower of orange sparks. You slide forward like a base runner stealing home, the massive blast door grinding down relentlessly above your cockpit glass. For a split second, you stare directly at the serrated teeth of the locking mechanism.
4.
The door slams shut inches behind your rear heat exhaust vents, severing the line of fire from the troopers in the hangar. The muffled sound of blaster fire pinging off the other side of the door fades away. You are safe, for the moment. You stand your mech up in a wide, dimly lit logistics corridor. Red emergency lights are rotating. You still don't have the defense codes or a map of the lower levels since the tank hack failed. Current status, heat levels dropping. Ammo okay. Location, unknown corridor. Your options. The hard connection. There is a wall terminal near a junction box ahead. It's a risk, but you might be able to slice into the base intranet to find the reactor room and download the map you missed earlier. Difficulty 13, Computers/Tech. Active sensors. You can't see around the bend, but you can crank your active sensors to max power to see through the walls. It will reveal any ambushes, but it will also light you up like a Christmas tree to anyone watching the electronic spectrum. Difficulty 11, Tactics/Sensors. Go dark, shut down non-essential systems, and move slowly. Rely on visual scanning to sneak up on whatever is guarding this hall. It's slower, but you'll get the drop on them. Difficulty 12, Stealth/Piloting. What is your next move? I try for the terminal, I roll a 16. GM, success. Redemption. You maneuver the Valkyrie to the wall terminal. Using a fine manipulator claw, you rip the cover off the junction box and hardline directly into the fiber optics. Unlike the tank, this terminal is stable. Your onboard computer slices through the base firewall in seconds. The sector map floods your HUD, filling in the blanks. Intel gained. Target: the main fusion reactor is 3 levels down, level 5. Defense: level 5 is heavily fortified with automated turrets. Route: you are currently in the logistics corridor on level 2. You also managed to snag a partial security feed. You see a squad of battle mechs, light urban raft, mostly, powering up in a bay on level 4. You don't have much time before they deploy. Current status: map downloaded. Reactor located. Enemy mechs activating below. Your options: the freight elevator. Combat the main cargo lift is huge and can take you straight down to level 5. It's the fastest route, but the moment those doors open at the bottom, you'll likely be staring down the barrels of the reactor guards. Difficulty 12, gunnery/reaction. The heatsink shaft, piloting *** the map, shows a vertical ventilation shaft nearby used for the reactor's heat exchange. It drops straight to level 5. It's tight, dark, and hot, requiring precise jump jet feathering to avoid crashing or overheating, but it bypasses the guards entirely. Difficulty 14, piloting. Sabotage the grid. Tech before you disconnect. Try to overload the lighting grid on level 5. If successful, you can take the elevator, but the reactor room will be pitch black, giving you a stealth advantage against the defenders. Difficulty 13, computers/tech. What is your next move? Can I hack the turrets on level 5 to shoot the reactor? GM, that is a devious idea. I like it. You dig deeper into the code. You can see the subroutines for the level 5 automated turrets. Currently, their IFF, identification friend or foe, is set to target anything without a valid security badge. To make them shoot the reactor, the very thing they are programmed to protect, requires you to not only hack the targeting system, but also override the friendly fire, fail-safes, and the object recognition logic. This is a Hail Mary move. If you succeed, the turrets will spin around and unload into the reactor core. The mission objective is complete instantly. However, this will trigger an immediate critical meltdown. You will have to sprint for the exit before the base vaporizes. If you fail, the system detects the illegal command. It will lock you out of the system entirely, sound the general alarm, and send the level 4 mech squad directly to your location. You will be trapped in the corridor with no map updates and enemies closing in. Difficulty 17. This is a very hard check due to military-grade encryption. Do you want to take the risk? Roll for computers/tech. I rolled a 19. GM, critical success. You type furiously, sweat stinging your eyes inside the neuro helmet. The encryption is military-grade, shifting every few seconds, but you find the rhythm. You isolate the IFF protocol. You don't just delete it, you invert it. Status: target designation updated. Priority target: Fusion Core Alpha. On your stolen security feed, the scene on level 5 is terrifyingly beautiful. For heavy laser turrets swivel violently, ignoring the confused guards. They lock onto the glowing blue cylinder of the main reactor. Flash. The feed cuts to static as the reactor shielding is vaporized instantly. The floor beneath your Valkyrie heaves upwards. A deep, guttural groan resonates through the mountain facility. Warning: core breach detected. Critical mass in 180 seconds. The lights in your corridor die, replaced by spinning red emergency strobes. You have 3 minutes before this entire mountain becomes a crater. You turn the Valkyrie to run back toward the exit, but your sensors light up. The squad of enemy mechs from level 4? They aren't powering up anymore, they are fleeing. And they're coming up the main ramp directly into your path to get to the surface. The escape. Alpha Strike, gunnery. The corridor is narrow. An enemy urban mech is leading the charge up the ramp towards you. If you blast him hard enough, his wreckage will block the ramp, trapping the others behind him and letting you scramble over the scrap heap to freedom. Difficulty 12. Jump jet parkour. Piloting the explosion has cracked the ceiling of the logistics corridor, revealing a maintenance catwalk above. It's a tight squeeze, but if you engage your jump jets, you might be able to leap over the incoming enemy squad and surf the collapsing tunnel toward the exit. Difficulty 14. Command override. Intimidation/bluff, you still have a lingering connection to the base PA system. Voice amplifier speakers. Scream at them that you have rigged the tunnel to collapse and order them to surrender or die. In the chaos, they might freeze, buying you time to slip past. Difficulty 15. The clock is ticking. What do? Let's hit with an alpha strike. I rolled a 28. GM, absolute carnage. With a roll of 28 against a difficulty of 12, you didn't just hit the target, you surgically removed it from existence. You slam the throttle forward and override the heat safeties. Your Valkyrie lurches as every weapon system on its chassis fires simultaneously. The medium laser drills a molten hole straight into the center of the panicked urban mech coming up the ramp, stripping its armor in a microsecond. Immediately following the beam, your LRM, long-range missile, salvo impacts directly into the breach. Boom. The urban mech suffers a catastrophic ammo explosion. Its turret pops off like a champagne cork, spinning into the ceiling, while the chassis expands outward and fuses into a burning slag heap, wedging itself perfectly between the bulkheads of the narrow ramp. You hear the screams of the enemy pilots behind it over the open channel. Blocked. The path is blocked. Back up. Back up. But they have nowhere to go. The escape. Your heat scale is screaming red, alarms blaring in your cockpit, but you don't stop. You stomp your Valkyrie forward, using the burning wreckage of the urban mech as a stepping stone. Your metal feet crunch into its ruin, giving you the boost you need. You burst out of the tunnel mouth and into the blinding sunlight of the planetary surface. You push the reactor to 110%, sprinting away from the mountain facility. 5, 4, 3. You dive your mech behind a rocky outcrop just as the ground ripples. The mountain implodes. The ground turns into a liquid wave of earth and stone. A shockwave slams into your mech, knocking it prone, sensors washing out in white noise. Mission complete. The dust settles. Your Valkyrie is battered, overheating, and lying in the dirt, but you are alive. The facility is a crater. The reactor is gone. The enemy squad is buried. Rewards. XP gained, 2,500, base, plus 500, creative hacking bonus, equals 3,000 XP. Reputation, greatly increased with the rebellion or your employer. Salvage, none from the facility, vaporized, but you managed to keep your Valkyrie intact despite the crazy odds. You catch your breath as the neurohelmet disengages. That was too close. What would you like to do now? Radio for extraction. Call your dropship to pick you up. Assess damage. Get out and check the physical condition of your mech before moving. Fade to black. End the session here. Let's call for an extraction and end for today. GM, you flip the comm switch to the emergency frequency. The channel crackles with static interference from the massive explosion, but you cut through the noise.
Command, this is Viper Web. Objective complete. The mountain is gone, requesting immediate dust off. 10 seconds pass, then they achieve breakthrough. Copy, Viper 1. We see the plume of orbit. That was one hell of a fireworks show. Hold position, dropship. Void Runner is inbound. Your Vector ETA 2 mics. You lean back in the command couch, listen to the cooling fans struggle against the heat of the fusion engine above you. The sky tears open and the dropship descends on the pillar of blue flame. The ground shakes, a comforting rumble this time, not a destructive one. The bay doors hiss open. You limp your battered Valkyrie up the ramp. As the magnetic clamps lock your feet to the deck, the adrenaline finally fades, leaving you exhausted but victorious. The ramp closes. You feel the lurch of gravity as the ship blasts off, leaving the smoke crater far behind. Session end. That was an incredible run. Rolling a 28 for the Alpha Strike was a perfect cinematic finish to the mission. You navigated the hacking and stealth, and the final combat brilliantly. Okay, so at this point, the AI is giving me some stuff to think about as we kind of pause here. Pause the storyline here. When we pick up again, we can handle either repairs and refits, the payday, and the debrief. Now, using AI to kind of read it or whatever kind of saves me because I'm a horrible reader. You guys should all know that. It doesn't matter if I read things over a couple times, I always stumble on things. So that's one of the reasons why I really chose using AI for the vast majority of this. Beyond that, this was a lot of fun working with the AI as a DM. Um, there was a couple times in there I did kind of fudge my numbers because I'm such a horrible roller. But actually, later on, my rolls started being decent, and I did fail a couple times, and you guys kind of saw that. Um, what I was doing there for a little bit is every time I was rolling a one, because I was rolling them so often, um, for the wild die, I was just treating it as a six that was getting me by, and it's horrible when you're rolling five dice. You have three ones, a three, and a six. So then I'm down to just rolling a four. That's the reasons why I was doing it. Um, like, and I always admit I am a bad roller typically when it's for myself. We've tried doing this a couple times in the past, about a year ago, doing the solo plays, and I have died a couple times over. Now, the nice thing is watching the AI try and keep me alive is very interesting how it does it. I still kind of get battered up, beaten around, and everything else, but it does do its best to try and keep me alive. So, in that regard, it does something that I try to typically do with my own group, try to keep them going so that way they're having fun. Um, hopefully you guys get to see how this all worked out. AI isn't perfect, especially at the end. It gave me some 3,000 experience points, which would be character points. We're not going to take 3,000 character points. I might give myself 30 character points, but even with that, that's still a lot of skills I can up. So we'll go from there. It was being overly generous at the end. In the whole system, that means that I really would have gained, would it be 30, 40, 45 character points through everything, which is a little on the much side. Usually I cap things off roughly about like 10 character points per session at most. Typically it's about 5 character points. Um, and I've never gotten on the guys whenever they're just leveling their character along the way. I know in the books it always says you're only supposed to raise things up by like a plus one in between sessions. I let the guys go a little bit above that. I don't worry too much about it. I'm here for the fun and just whatever. Sometimes the guys will just kind of hang off on some extra points because we don't always run into the same issues every time. We had some hacking going on here, which was kind of fun. Sometimes you just kind of run into situations you don't typically set your character up for. And sometimes the situations just kind of go off in those ways. And you start finding your character is really off the beaten path for how it was created. So now you have to get creative on how to handle your character there. So, um, all in all, I think this was a lot of fun. Hopefully, you guys agree with that. Um, we're going to try this out in a couple different scenarios. We might even, instead of trying to do a narrative or whatever in a Star Trek or something like that, maybe what I'll do is I'll try running the AI as a GM and have me as a captain or a commander or something like that on a bigger ship and see how it handles everything and works it out that way. One of the other things I'll note is if you're just starting, this does take the whole rule set into um, how things should be done. So hopefully you guys noticed along the way it was trying to help keep keep me with the understanding of how the rule set worked, so that way I was following it correctly. Um, and because I'm kind of used to the D6 rule set, I didn't need it as much, but I appreciated it trying to do that. Um, Try to keep everyone honest. That's all I ever really ask for. I don't care if someone reminds me of a rule I already know. Sometimes we just need that just so they know that they know the rules. So, and it works out pretty good. With that being said, thank you so very much for joining me today. I hope you had fun. Hope you're doing well, and I will see you in the next video.